Alright, now if you've ever played a Pokemon game before, then you know that the most important choice in any Pokemon trainer's journey is what they pick as their starter. It separates the winners from the losers, the heroes from the cowards, and the masters from the NPCs. Okay, it might not be that serious, but with all that said, here are my picks for the top starters for every generation. Let me know in the comments below who you guys picked as your starters. Generation 1. Charmander. Charmander is my favorite starter of Generation 1. Yeah, I know it's a bit cliche, but come on, it evolves into a fire-breathing dragon. Or, well, some kind of fire-flying bird type thing, I guess. But it looks like a dragon, so that's good enough for me. I've played through most Pokemon games tons of times, so I've played Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, all multiple times apiece. And I've played through with each starter, but Charmander's always been my favorite. Weirdly, I used to like Charmeleon more than Charizard, so I would evolve my Charmander into Charmeleon, then give it an Everstone. Don't know why I did it, but Charizard won me over with his shiny form. Generation 2, Cyndaquil. Yeah, I tend to favor the fire type when it comes to starters, usually because I think they look the coolest. I've played through these older Pokemon games before there were leaks everywhere online, so when I would pick a Pokemon, I had no idea what it was going to look like when it evolved. Now again, I've played through Gen 2 a lot of times. I had Silver and Crystal, but I've still never played through Gold, and I'm only now doing my first ever playthrough of Soul Silver. So I've played through with each starter, and while I think Feraligatr is cool too, I just think Typhlosion is the best of the three. Cyndaquil is another one of these starters where I think the middle evolution looks cooler than the final stage. I really wish Quilava was the third stage and something else came between Cyndaquil and it. Also, this is just an opinion, Chikorita is the worst starter of any generation. Generation 3, Treecko. Okay, now Generation 3 is my all-time favorite generation. I've played through Generation 3 more times than any other generation, maybe even more than all the other games put together. Now originally Torchic was my favorite. I loved and still do love Blaziken, but over time I found that I just like Treecko way better. Generation 3 was my first ever Pokemon game. I can still remember my brother coming home from being out shopping with our mother, handing me a Game Boy Advanced and a copy of Pokemon Sapphire. He got Ruby. We would play those games all the time. I always chose Torchic because that's the one that he chose. This generation is different from the other generations because while Treecko is my favorite, I can pick any of the starters and love it. In most games I have a favorite and don't really like the rest. This is the only generation where I genuinely love all the starters. Maybe it's nostalgia, or maybe it's just that Gen 3 is the best generation, who knows. Generation 4, Chimchar. I'll start this one off by saying Gen 4 is not my favorite. Gen 4 I have played through several times, but nowhere near as much as the older ones. I don't really love any of the starters in this generation like I do with some of the other ones, but Chimchar is my favorite from this one, again because I just usually prefer the fire starters. I don't really have much to say about this guy. He's okay. He's no fire-breathing dragon bird, but I guess a monkey with a flame on its tail is good too. Generation 5, Snivy. Generation 5 came out at a weird time for me. I thought I was too old for Pokemon, and so I didn't really get this game when it first came out. I did eventually get it, but still to this day, I've only played through Generation 5 one time. I picked Snivy because I just did not like Tepig at all. I did like the game itself, but Snivy was just kinda there. I could replace him with any other Pokemon and have had just as good a time with it. I really wish I had more to say about Snivy and Chimchar, but I didn't really connect with these games like I did with the other ones. Generation 6, Fennekin. Okay, now when Generation 6 came out, I was back into Pokemon. I was in high school and had friends who liked to play Pokemon, and when X and Y came out, me and a friend of mine went to the midnight release, a tradition I still do with the new Pokemon games to this day. Now I've played through Y twice, both times I picked Fennekin. I do like Fennekin. There's just something about this breaking the whole weird firefighting routine that they had taken with all the fire starters. Also, you've got that pun going for you, so that's something, you know, Firefox. Anyway, since you got Lucario naturally through the story, I ended up giving Lucario so much more attention. Okay, now for the final generation as of the filming of this video. Generation 7, Litton. This is a weird generation for starters for me. Litton is by far my favorite starter in this generation, but Decidueye is my favorite of their final evolutions. Litton is a cute little fire cat. I really wish they hadn't made him bipedal for his final stage. Then he may have been my overall favorite starter. What's there to say about this little guy? As soon as the reveal trailer for the starters came out, I was on Team Litton. When I saw Torracat, I was even more excited. And when I saw its final form, I still wanted Litton. Litton was actually the very first shiny that my little sister ever hunted, even though her starter was Poplio. Well, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to let us know in the comments who your favorite starters are from each generation. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and again, thank you all so much for watching. See you next time.